a 30-minute flow. And I'm falling already. A 30-minute flow, and we're going to be focusing a lot today on shoulder mobility, spine mobility, and then also shoulder strength and shoulder mobility. Okay, so lots of different things happening at the same time, and I'll try to draw your attention to all of the different things that are happening as we work our way through the class. Okay, so strength and flexibility. Now, the shoulder that we're working here, it's the arm bone has this head on the top of it, and it sits in a very shallow socket, and those two areas together, we refer to them as the glenohumeral joint. And it's small and shallow so that we can move the arm in all of the different directions that it can go, okay, which is fantastic. Around the hip, it's the same kind of socket design, but it's more stable, which is great also, because we don't want to be able to spin our leg around in all the directions that we can with the arm. But where we've got lots of mobility in the body, that can also lead to injury risk. And I'm really big on trying to avoid injury risk. And what we do to avoid it is create strength around those areas, okay? So what I'm going to be doing today is taking us through a fairly straightforward, simple kind of flow. And I'm going to be asking us to move in different directions so that we're drawing awareness to how we can build stability. And then thinking about the length of the spine, there are different areas in the spine as well, with differing degrees of stability and responsibility for being strong and holding us up. And then the thoracic area around the chest have got the ribs attached, so there's less mobility there naturally. And then the neck is actually the most mobile, but when we spend time leaning forward and curling through the spine, we're suddenly putting a whole lot of weight onto the small vertebrae here. So we're going to be strengthening by engaging our core muscles all the way around our trunk, our torso. And then we're going to try and move the body in all the directions that it can, or the spine more specifically, okay? Just so you understand what it is we're going to try to do. And then we have 30 minutes, so it's going to be a fairly action-packed class. So let's get started. We're just going to sit comfortably for literally 30 seconds. So if you can come into a comfortable seat, however that looks for you. And we'll just pause for a moment before we introduce the movement. Okay, so comfortable can be cross-legged, sitting like I am, or it can be sitting on your shins if that feels more comfortable for you. Depends on your preference for rotation of the thigh. And then hands are just resting down onto the knees or the lap, and you're sitting up nice and tall. And I want you, while you're here, to sit back ever so slightly so that you feel the muscles in the lower belly start to engage, fire up. Ribs are drawing in towards each other. And I want you to imagine that you're lifting up through the center of the spine, through the crown of the head, sitting up as tall as you can. And then almost draw the chin back, not so that it feels too awkward, but just so that you feel like there's a nice long spine happening. And then shoulders are drawing down away from your ears. And then just close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, see if you can keep that feeling of strength and awareness in the upper body, but can you just soften and relax a little? And what I mean by that mostly is, can you soften and relax around the belly area? So when you breathe in through the nose or the mouth, just consciously drawing the breath down to the area at the bottom of the rib cage. And then as the breath begins to travel up into the lungs, around the ribs, feel how they expand, both out towards the center of your mat, but also out to the left and right side of you. So all of that space inside to breathe into. And then notice the expansion of the chest area up towards the throat. Growing taller through the crown of the head as the inhale continues, lifting and lengthening through the spine. And every exhale, keep the height that you find and just slowly let go of everything else. Draw everything back to center that you need and let go of the rest. And I just want you to take 3 rounds of breath like this, really slow, deep, indulgent breaths with awareness to all of these different parts that you're breathing into. Awareness of what is happening as you breathe into the lungs. Awareness of how much space there is to breathe into. And at the same time as thinking about strength, where can you soften? Where can you relax? where can you let go? And just one more deep indulgent inhale here. And at the end of the inhale, just pause for me for a moment. And then see if you can sip in just a little bit more inhale. And then pause again. And then let that exhale be really slow and relaxed as you release. Okay. And then when the exhale finishes, just slowly come back to a regular breath and let your eyes begin to open. Okay, if you're sitting on your shins or you're sitting on a block, just come to sit on your bottom for me. And cross leg is going to be the perfect place. Keep the spine just as long as we had it before. And then just place your left hand down to the side of the mat or the ground, right hand up to the sky, and to lean over towards the side of your room or your space. And as you do that, lean back with the right shoulder just a little. So you've got that feeling of expansion all the way through the right side of the ribs and the vertebrae of the spine itself, and then deeper into those layers of the QL and side stomach muscles here. We often don't spend a whole lot of time opening through this area. Unless you practice with me often. We practice like this every day. So let's inhale and slowly come back up through center. Take the right hand down now and lean over. And I want you to really lift up and then extend. Okay, and just notice how it feels from one side to the other. So often for me, this side is a little bit tighter. I have a really bad habit of crossing my right leg over my left more. And I always notice this as a shortening in the QL, this tissue that connects the bottom of the ribs to the pelvic area. And let's do that one more time in each direction. So let's come back through center, left hand down, right hand over. And you might find already there's a little bit more space, a softness to the left elbow, a little bit more room in the lower right side of the back or waist. Maybe it's the shoulder that you're noticing it in. And then let's travel back up through center, spine stays long, right hand down, elbow soft, left hand extending over. Leaning back with left shoulder, reaching through fingers, head and neck relaxed all the time. Perfect, and then come all the way back up to center. Place the hands down in front of you and let's hop on over into tabletop position. Really nice to start the practice off with mobility of the spine so that everything's warm as we start to flow. So spread the fingers nice and wide, spread the weight through the whole of the hand. And then just slowly soften the belly, lift the tailbone, reach the chest forward. So you're opening up through the front line of the vertebrae in the back now. And then as you exhale, push the ground away, draw the chin in towards the chest and really round through the spine and notice the separation of the shoulder blades here. So they're moving away from each other. And then as you inhale, front body opens, chest reaches forward, tailbone back. Exhale, rounding through the spine, broadening through the shoulder blades, and just remembering that the shoulder blades only move through engagement of muscle. They're not attached in any way to the body. Inhale, softening through the body. Chest comes forward, and you can close your eyes. Keep on moving in this way. And if it feels good for you, some of you might even want to turn your fingers out to the left and right side of your mat here as you cat and cow. And then after a couple of rounds of moving like that, maybe even turn the fingers towards you so that you're opening up through the front of the inner wrist as well. And if that doesn't feel good, just come back to fingers facing forwards. Just thinking of ways in which we can mobilize more while we're here anyway. So let's take another 2 rounds of movement. Awareness of how it feels in the lower back, middle back, upper back. Separation of shoulder blades. General movement. And then when your second round finishes, come back to where we started. And if your belly just kind of flops down, just draw it in a little bit so it feels like there's a little power. Okay, and then as you inhale, sweep the left hand up to the sky, but can you keep the hips above the knees? So it's just the upper back that's going to be working and mobilizing. And as you exhale, thread the needle. So your arm is reaching through and under. You're resting briefly on the side of the shoulder and the head, just briefly. And then inhale, sweep the arm all the way back up to the sky. Okay, so you're drawing left ribs and chest and shoulders back as far as you can. And then go ahead again, exhale, thread the needle through and under, reach a little bit further through each time. And then inhale, arm lifts up to the sky, hips are still above the knees, finding more space, more mobility. Exhale, thread the needle, but this time stay down. So you're reaching the arm through as far as you can. And then lift the other arm up to the sky, shoulder draws back, and just bend the elbow. Hand can rest on the lower back, or you can reach around to the left side of the waist if it feels good. And I want this to be nice and active. So what you're doing here is finding a little bit of space through the back of the shoulder in which you're lying. And as you draw the top arm back, there's an opportunity to really open up and create more space around the front of the body and the front of the shoulder and chest here as well. So just explore, see how that feels. We're going to take another 2 breaths here. And every exhale, can you draw the top ribs, chest and shoulder even further back? So there's so much space that we can create with the breath. Last big inhale and exhale here. And then just slowly start to place the hand behind your back onto the ground. Push the ground away, sweeping your left arm all the way back up to the sky, shoulder drawing back. And then let's do the second side and we'll start to flow from here. So left hand comes underneath the shoulder, and as you inhale, sweep right hand up to the sky, shoulder draws back. And as you exhale, thread the needle, reach the arm through and under, okay? Just briefly. And then inhale, arm reaches all the way back up to the sky, shoulder draws back, gaze can follow fingers or look down. Exhale, thread the needle a little bit further with your reach every time, so we're actively trying to find space. Inhale, sweeps the arm back up to the sky. And then this time we stay down, remember. So on your exhale, weave the arm through as far as you can. Settle down on the side of the head and the shoulder. And then sweep your other arm up to the sky. So left arm reaching up now. Shoulder draws back actively. Bend the elbow. Reach the hand around to find the right side of the waist. And some of you, the hand is going to stay on the lower back. And that's okay as well. And just tune in, explore. How does it feel? Where do you feel it? Is it the same as the first side in terms of area, in terms of intensity? And all of this gives us information. Where do I have balance in my body? Where do I need to create more? Take another big inhale and exhale. Can you draw that top shoulder and rib and chest back just a little more? And when that breath finishes, start to place the lifted hand back down to the ground. Push the ground away and then come to sweep the right hand all the way up to the sky. Okay. And then go ahead, place the hand back down to the ground. So we're back in tabletop position. So tuck the toes under, lift the hips and the knees now, downward facing dog. Hips are reaching up to the sky, and I want you to really use the hands here. Push into the heel of the hand, knuckles and fingertips, and then push the ground away as you lift the hips high. So there's axial extension, lots of space in between the vertebrae here. And if your chest is puffing forward like mine, can you draw the ribs in towards each other? So it feels a bit more like you're working here rather than hanging out. And then imagine that you're squeezing a block almost in between your upper arms. So wrap those arms outwards so you get nice and powerful in the shoulders and upper back area here. And with that intention, just start to look forward as you transition into plank pose. Adjust your feet as you need to. And you're just looking to the top of the mat or between your thumbs. Can you draw the belly in, push through the heels of the feet so the quads and the muscles above the knees are strong. And as you push into the hands, you're broadening a little bit in between the shoulder blades. So there's a nice long line of energy and engagement through the front, back, and side of the body. And it should feel like you're spreading the load more than just into your wrists. And then push the ground away, lift the hips up high, downward facing dog. Still with that awareness of ribs drawing in towards each other, pushing the ground away with the hands, wrapping inward of the shoulders or outward of the upper arm. And let's do that one more time. A really nice way to strengthen the upper back is come forward to plank. So mobilizing and moving between two strong shapes, plank, downward dog, and just notice how it feels to really reach through the heels. With your toes tucked under, you're stretching through the plantar fascia here as well as lots and lots of strength work. Nice, and then take it up to downward facing dog, okay? Push down through the hands, get nice and strong. And then I want you to push down through the left hand, lift the right hand up. But first of all, just walk the feet in a couple of inches, closer to the hands. Take the right hand to the outside of your left ankle or shin and just draw your body through and under left armpit. And you want to really be pushing the ground away with your left hand. And a little bit of mobility work for the thoracic spine, the less immobile part of our back, just because that's where the ribs are attached. And then place the right hand back down to the ground. Get strong and wide in the hand. And then on your exhale, take the left hand to the outside of the right knee and draw your gaze now under the right armpit. So the twist in the upper back, second direction. Right hand really pushing the ground away, strong through the upper back. Nice. And then slowly place left hand back down to the ground and just look forward, soften the knees, and you can hop, step, or jump all the way to the top of the mat, forward fold. And then as you inhale, get long in the spine, so you've got a halfway lift. And I want you to bring the hands to wherever you need them, so the spine is parallel to the ground. Okay, and if you were actually to bring the hands to heart center, you can start to feel like the muscles in the length of the back are working. So you can feel the muscles all the way along from the back of the skull to the lower back. A little bend in the knees if you need. Take the arms out nice and wide, so aeroplane arms. And this is giving us an opportunity with a little bend in the knees if you need to strengthen through the upper back. So we're not winging the arms back, we're just bringing them parallel to the ground. Still just looking down, so there's a long line through the back of the neck here. Working with our erector spinous muscles, QL is strengthening here as well, trapezius and rhomboids too. Nice, and then just slowly soften, come back to the ground with the hands. And on your inhale, draw the belly in as you roll yourself up slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, helping us to articulate all of the vertebrae in the spine, okay? Take the feet a little bit wider than you might normally. Okay, and push down through the feet, lift up through the inner arches, feel the quads engage, the glutes engage. Hands are going to be at heart center for a moment. And push the hands really firmly in against each other, upper back open, okay? And keep the upper back strong. Hands come down, but turn the palms to face forward. And that simple act of, instead of having fingers down and towards your body, turning the palms forwards engages all the way through the upper back. Inhale, lift the fingers up to the sky, meet the hands above the head. Exhale, lean over to the left. So come back to that side body stretch. Push down through the right foot a lot. And then inhale, come back through to center. Exhale over to the second side. Okay, left foot connects. Inhale slowly back through center. And let's just release the fingers. Go really slowly, bent knees, nice long straight spine, pausing to strengthen upper back. And then slowly start to roll your way into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, spine long. Exhale, step back to plank. Okay, get strong in plank just like we did before. Chaturanga, drop knees if you need, elbows close to the body, and then come all the way down. Come onto the tops of the feet, and I want you to just lift the ribs and the chest from the ground, okay? And then lift the hands. Take the arms into a cactus pose, so the elbows are in line with the shoulders, fingers are wide, or together. And you're just looking down, and notice how that feels in the upper back. Notice how it feels down the length of the muscles in the back. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. Push down through the top of the feet so that you're lifting the kneecaps. Take a big breath here. Nice. Place the hands next to the chest. Tuck the toes. Push up to plank. Downward facing dog. Use the hands to push the ground away, nice and long through the back of the body. And then inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip up to the side of the room, and you're squeezing the heel of the foot towards the bottom. So you're opening through the front of that right hip, stretching out as you push down through the left heel, through the back of the leg. Big breath. And then square the hips to the ground. And as you exhale, twist and bring the knee across the body to the left elbow. So we're twisting and using side stomach muscles to do that. Inhale, carry the leg high up to the sky, three-legged downward dog. Exhale again, knee across the body, left elbow. And then when you're here, come onto the inside edge of your left foot and pick left hand up to the sky, okay? Keep the knee drawn in. And then you can lighten it by dropping the knee down like a kickstand, or you can deepen it by extending the leg out ahead of you. Choice is yours. Okay, strengthening through lots of different things on the side of the body. Place the left hand down, travel back into three-legged downward dog. And then slow motion, step the foot forward between the hands. Stay on the ball of the left foot. Inhale, come up into a crescent pose. Okay, so you're going to sink down into the hips. Reach away through the left heel. Draw the belly in and up. Side body is nice and long. Reaching those fingers as far away from each other as you can. Okay. Taking another big breath. And then start to bring the hands into heart center. Push the hands in firmly against each other. And as you exhale, twist to the right side. Staying here, pushing away through the left heel. And just slowly start to reach left hand forward, reaching right hand back. And as you do that, really draw belly in and up. Stabilizing and drawing the muscles in to hold the spine in place, but also working with muscles and strengthening in the upper arms and upper back. And then go ahead and flip left palm up. Reach the fingers to the sky and reach right hand down back of left leg. Really stabilize by pushing away with the left heel. Sinking down into that front knee as much as you can. Okay. Take another big breath. Nice. And then just slowly start to release the hands down to the ground and step back to downward facing dog. Hips nice and high to the sky. Shoulders draw away from the ears. Hands pushing the ground away. Inhale, lifting left leg. Exhale, bending the knee, opening the hip up to the side of the room, squeezing the heel towards the bottom. Both hands firm to the ground. Right heel pushing down. And then just slowly start to square the hips to the ground. Draw the knee across the body to the right elbow. Take yourself back into three-legged downward dog. One more time, exhale, knee across the body, right elbow. Come onto the inside edge of right foot, right hand up to the sky. Option to keep the leg where it is or to lower the knee to the ground. Option to extend the leg out in front of you here as well. Okay, so check in and just see how that feels. Shoulders strong, and then just gently start to travel your way back into three-legged downward dog. And then slow motion, step the foot forward between your hands. Stay on the ball of the right foot. Inhale, fingers lifting up to the sky. Sinking down towards the ground. Take a moment to steady yourself. Shoulders drawing down the back, away from the ears, upper back working hard. Bring the hands into heart center. Push the hands in firmly. And as you exhale, twist over to the left now. So side stomach muscles working, core engaged all the way around the torso. Reach the right hand forward. Reach the left hand back. Sink a little deeper into the lunge, nice and strong as the side stomach muscles join in. Flip the right palm, reach it up to the sky and glide left hand down back of right leg. Right hand is reaching away. So a lot of opening through the hip, a lot of stability work in the legs, a lot of opening and rotation in the spine. One more big breath. Slowly, when you're finished, take the hands down to the ground. This time, step back to plank. Heels push back, chest is forward, okay? And I want you to come down to forearms, forearm plank. So I said there's going to be a lot happening in the class. So I want you to stack yourself up, push the heels back, spread the load so that your gaze is towards the fingertips, okay? Push away through the heels. Take a nice long deep breath. One more breath. And then slowly lower the knees. Just reach yourself forward or back into child's pose just for a moment. Hips towards the heels, fingertips reaching forward so you're lengthening through the whole of the spine. Check in and notice how the body's feeling. Just one more breath to release in the lower back. And then slowly start to place the palms down. Lift yourself up from your heels, tuck the toes, returning into downward facing dog. Inhale, take the right leg high. Exhale, slow motion, knee to nose. Place the foot between the hands. Turn the left heel down 90 degrees. Inhale, warrior two. Right fingers forward, left fingers back. And we don't often think about this, but when we set ourselves up with the legs, we're often concentrating on what's happening here. But when the arms are extended and the arms are parallel to the ground, we're strengthening all of these muscles in the creation of good posture around the shoulders here. So get active in the arms, reach the fingers as far away as you can. And in doing that, you're firing up trapezius, rhomboids, stabilizing all of those muscles that support front and back of the spine as well as the benefit of strengthening and opening through the hips. So the weight is equal in both of the feet. Let's flip right palm up to the sky. Hand is lifting high, left hand sliding down, left leg, and keep reaching back with the right hand. We should have a bit more space now, many times in this direction. Sink down into the right knee if you want to continue to feel more through the thigh. Fingers reach back, side body opens, left hand nice and light. Perfect. And then with control, just slowly bring yourself back up and travel through warrior two to extended side angle. So forearm comes to the knee, left hand sweeping up and over now. Okay. And if this feels okay, stay here. If you want to do a little bit more strength work, you're going to reach the other arm to be parallel to the left arm now. So one long line of energy from the fingertips down to the outer heel. So you either have this option of here working with strengthening upper back a little bit more, or focusing your attention on stretching out through the side body here. Take another big breath. And then let's slowly, with control, come back up to warrior two. Cartwheel the hands to the top of the mat. Come onto the ball of the left foot. Left hand down. Twist. Right hand up to the sky. Right shoulder draws back. Left heel reaching away. And then slowly take the hand to the ground. Step back either to downward facing dog or plank. If you're in plank, let's go through chaturanga. Your choice of uplift here. But really draw awareness to strengthening upper back. So squeezing shoulder blades back, chest forward. Meeting everybody in downward facing dog as we travel through plank. Big breath, ribs drawing towards each other, strong upper back, broadening of the shoulder blades, heels reaching down, muscles above the knees engaged. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, slowly step that foot forward between the hands, turn right foot to a 90-degree angle. Inhale, warrior two, second side. Okay, so same thing on this side. Get strong in the legs first of all. Reach fingers powerfully away from each other. Okay, nice and strong in the deltoids, muscles around the rotator cuff, trapezius on the back of the body and between the shoulder blades, nice and powered. Hips sinking down, weight equal through both feet for the moment. Lean forward with the left arm, flip the palm up. Lift the hand high so you get space in the side body, and then glide the right hand down the leg, left hand reaching back as far as you can. Sink down into the left knee, finding that sense of space all the way through the side body, but also empowerment, flexibility, and strength in the legs. If you want to lean a little bit further, you can. Strong fingers. And then just slowly make your way back through warrior two to extended side angle. So knee to the elbow, right hand traveling all the way up and over. You're pushing now down through the outside edge of the foot. Glutes engaged to draw that leg back. And if you want to add a little bit of fire to the side stomach muscles and upper back, bring both arms to be parallel to each other. Pushing into that left foot and balancing it out with the right foot here. Okay, so you're either here or forearm resting to the thigh. Take another big breath. Nice, and then inhale, just slowly come back up to warrior two. Cartwheel the hands down to the ground, come onto the ball of the right foot, and then push into the right hand, twist, take left hand all the way up to the sky. Big breath. Lower the hand down to the ground. Your choice, either straight to downward facing dog or traveling through plank. Coming into chaturanga. Traveling through to baby cobra, cobra, upward facing dog, choice is yours. And then making your way into downward facing dog for 2 big breaths. 2 big breaths. Hips lifting high, shoulders away from the ears, spine nice and long. And then just slowly start to lower your knees down to the ground, bringing your bottom down, and just sweep the feet to the side so that you can come down to a seat, okay? Bring the soles of the feet to touch. Knees drawing out to the left and right, hands holding and interlaced around the toes, spine nice and long. And as you exhale, just begin to lean forward. Use the muscles on the outside of the hips to help to get more sensation through the inner thigh. Keep leaning forward with the chest, the belly stays drawn in, spine stays long. Elbows reaching down. Some of us will have the elbows reaching to the inside of the thigh, or the inside of the shin at least. Breath is slow and relaxed. Notice how it feels through the inner thigh. Slowing the breath down. And then just slowly, when you finish the breath that you're working with, rolling yourself up vertebrae by vertebrae and just bringing the hands under the knees. Knees come together. Legs come out ahead of us. Point the toes towards you. Thighs long. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up to the sky. As you exhale, hinging forward from the hips, reaching to wherever you can along the legs, doesn't need to be the toes. Inhale with a nice long spine. Exhale, continuing to fold. Okay. Letting the gaze come down so the back of the neck is nice and long. And closing your eyes here. Checking in to how your body's feeling on the back line of the body. Okay. Notice the tissues awakening around the back of the ankles. Notice how it feels through the back of the knees, the back of the legs. Lower back. 2 more breaths just here. And when those 2 breaths finish for you, just slowly release the legs. Roll yourself up vertebrae by vertebrae. Take a moment to lie yourself down onto your back, knees draw in towards your chest. And just give the knees a little hug as you roll a little from side to side, back and forth. Okay, and then when you feel like it's a good moment for you to come down into Shavasana, begin to release the legs down to your mat. If there's a pose that you'd like to practice, a twist or something inverted, feel free to relax down into those shapes. Otherwise, allow your body to melt down to the ground. Take up as much space as you need to here, letting the feet relax, the hands relax. And letting the heart rate start to slow down. Awareness of a little bit of warmth in the body, a little power, a little release. And softening the muscles around the eyes, around the mouth, around the jaw and the neck. Nowhere else to be, nothing else to do, nothing else to think about. Feel free to stay here in Shavasana for as long as you need to. I'm going to finish the class here with saying thank you for practicing with me. Bringing the hands to heart center, unless you're staying there a little while longer. Bowing the head in gratitude for our practice together today. Namaste. Thank you for joining, everybody. Okay. Have a good day, guys.